The internet didn't just wake up today, it exploded. Overnight, social media timelines were set on fire after shocking new accusations against Lil Durk surfaced out of nowhere. And fans are scrambling to figure out what's real, what's fake, and what's coming next. Because this time, it isn't a rumor floating on a blog, and it isn't some old drama being recycled for clout. No, this one has receipts, voices, and people who are suddenly way too comfortable speaking up. But here's where it gets even crazier. Nobody saw this coming. Not Durk's team, not his fans, not even the people who usually monitor every move he makes. It hit like lightning, sudden, loud, and impossible to ignore. The moment the accusations dropped, group chats froze, comment sections blew up. And people who haven't posted in months suddenly returned to the scene like they've been waiting for this exact moment. And the biggest question everyone is asking is simple. Why now? Why drop something this serious, this heavy, at a time when Durk is quieter than usual? Behind the scenes, insiders claim that pressure has been building for weeks, silent conversations, private warnings, and subtle hints that something major was coming. But nobody thought it would be this, and nobody thought it would target one of the most influential figures in the entire rap game. Because when accusations hit someone at Durk's level, it's never just drama. It's strategy, timing, power, and impact. And these accusations, they're already creating cracks in places fans didn't expect. Friendships, alliances, industry relationships, even day one supporters. As the story unfolds, one thing is becoming obvious. Someone wants answers. Someone wants accountability, and someone wants Durk backed into a corner. But the real twist: a few of Durk's closest people, the ones fans assumed would defend him instantly, are suddenly quiet. And in the world of hip-hop, silence is never just silence. It's a message, so buckle up, because this is more than gossip, more than beef, and more than another wave of internet chaos. This is a collision of secrets, loyalty, and pressure, and the fallout might be bigger than anything Durk has faced before. The night felt strangely calm. The kind of calm that usually comes right before something explodes. And at 2:13 a.m., that explosion finally hit. A single post appeared online without warning. No teasers, no mysterious hints, no leaks building up for days. It just dropped out of the sky like a bomb, and within seconds, everything changed. Lil Durk's name was suddenly everywhere, spreading across feeds like wildfire. And nobody, not his team, not his fans, not even his enemies, was ready for what came next. The post didn't look threatening at first glance. It wasn't dramatic, wasn't overly emotional, wasn't full of hashtags or attention-grabbing edits. But the moment people clicked on it, the temperature of the entire internet shifted. Screenshots, recordings, a short but heavy caption, and one chilling line that instantly froze thousands of people mid-scroll. "I stayed silent for too long." He knows exactly what he did. Within seconds, comments poured in. People who had been offline for weeks appeared out of nowhere. Drama pages started snapping screenshots before the post could be deleted. Some fans panicked, others attacked, and a surprising number simply watched in silence, waiting, analyzing, trying to decide whether this was another internet stunt or something far more serious. What made everything even stranger was the identity of the person making the accusation. This wasn't a random account with 0 followers. This wasn't someone publicly known for chasing attention. This was someone who had been around Durk recently. Someone who had posted photos with him. Someone who had been seen backstage in the studio and in conversations that weren't meant for the public. The kind of person who had enough proximity to make even Durk's strongest defenders hesitate for a moment. People didn't know whether to defend Durk or stay quiet. Because the truth was simple. This accuser wasn't an outsider. This was someone who had seen things. Someone who knew where Durk stood, who he trusted, who spoke to him privately. And when a person like that suddenly breaks silence in the middle of the night, people pay attention. Inside Durk's circle, panic spread quickly. Messages started flying back and forth between people who just hours earlier were laughing, eating, sitting in studios comfortably. Now, everything felt unsettled. A few people privately admitted that they had no idea what the accusation was referring to. Others claimed they had sensed something building for weeks, but didn't think it would come out this violently, this suddenly, and with this much confidence. One person close to the team allegedly wrote in frustration, "This is the worst possible timing. We weren't prepared for anything like this." Outside, the internet turned into a battleground. In less than 20 minutes, the accusation was shared by 4 massive pages. In 30 minutes, it hit trending lists. And by the time the first hour passed, it had reached hundreds of thousands of people, with each person adding their own theory, their own guess, their own dramatic twist. Some said it was about betrayal. Others said it was financial. Some insisted it had to do with family or loyalty. Nobody knew for sure, and the lack of details only made the chaos worse. People started digging through old photos, old interviews, old clips where the accuser and Durk were seen together. Every smile, every handshake, every moment was re-examined like evidence in a crime scene. Meanwhile, the accuser said nothing more. No stories, no clarifications, no additional posts. Just that one statement sitting there like a spark in a room full of gasoline. And because the internet hates confusion, people filled the silence with their own stories, creating explosions of drama that grew, bigger by the minute. But the part that confused fans the most was the silence from Durk's closest people. Normally, these are the guys who rush online the second something suspicious appears. They defend him. They attack the accuser. They change the narrative. But tonight, they didn't. One by one, they stayed quiet. A few didn't like the post. A few didn't leave comments. A few even logged off completely, which only made the situation look worse. In the world of hip-hop, silence speaks louder than any statement. And tonight, that silence felt heavy. Durk himself stayed quiet too. No tweets, no Instagram story. No response from his team. For hours, the accusation hung in the air like a dark cloud, growing bigger with every passing minute. People wondered what he was thinking, whether he was shocked, angry, confused, or simply trying to understand who had just turned against him so suddenly. Because this wasn't an attack from an enemy, it was a shot fired from close range. By someone who knew exactly where to hit. Fans waited. Haters celebrated. And the industry watched with cold curiosity, wondering how big this storm would become and how long it would take before more people stepped forward. Because one accusation rarely arrives alone, and everyone knew. This was just the beginning. As the chaos continued to spread, morning started creeping in. But nothing felt like morning. There was no fresh start, no calm energy, no reset. Instead, the sunrise only added a spotlight to a situation that was already spiraling out of control. The accusation had survived the night, and not only survived, but grown. What began as a single post had multiplied into hundreds of discussions, videos, threads, and reactions. Every corner of the internet had an opinion, and every opinion felt louder than the last. People who had never spoken about Durk before were suddenly experts. Old interviews were being clipped and reshared with dramatic captions. TikTok detectives were zooming into screenshots and circling small details as if they were uncovering a secret code. Even people who disliked drama were being dragged into it. Because the story had reached that level of intensity where silence wasn't an escape, it was suspicious. But behind all this, something else was happening quietly. A few people in the industry, people who knew both Durk and the accuser, began making private calls. They wanted to know what exactly was going on. They wanted to hear the story directly. And surprisingly, the accuser wasn't refusing to talk. They weren't hiding. They weren't scared. If anything, they sounded calmer than people expected, almost like someone who had been carrying a heavy weight for too long and had finally dropped it. A few of those private conversations leaked. Not the full content, but hints, small pieces. Comments like, "It's deeper than you think. This isn't about clout. There's more coming." Those 3 lines alone were enough to send fans into chaos all over again. Because if there was more coming, it meant the first accusation was only the surface, the quiet before a bigger explosion. Meanwhile, Durk's team was scrambling. They had group chats going wild, calls being made non-stop, meetings happening before sunrise. There was no official statement yet, which made the situation worse. Because the longer they stayed silent, the more people began filling the silence with their own theories. Some believed the team was working on a carefully crafted response. Others believed they were too shocked to figure out a plan. And a few believed something darker, that maybe the team was struggling because they knew the accusation had some truth behind it. Inside this storm, Durk himself remained silent. Not a single word from him publicly. And this silence wasn't careless or accidental. People close to the situation hinted that the silence was intentional, that he was waiting, that he wanted to see what else the accuser would reveal before making any move. If he spoke too early, he might say something that could be used against him. If he waited too long, he risked losing the narrative completely. Every minute mattered, and yet he still chose silence. Fans began flooding his old posts with comments. Some were supportive, saying they believed in him. Others demanded answers. A few even turned on him completely, accusing him of hiding. People who used to defend him fiercely suddenly didn't know where they stood. One small rumor claimed that Durk was privately furious, not just because of the accusation, but because of who it came from, someone he trusted. Someone he let into his personal space, someone he'd never expected to betray him. That kind of betrayal cuts deeper than any public beef. But the story didn't stay limited to Durk and the accuser. Slowly, other people began getting pulled into the narrative. A producer who had worked with both of them posted a cryptic message about loyalty. A rapper who was once close to Durk tweeted something about snakes hiding in the circle. A mutual friend unfollowed the accuser publicly, only to refollow them hours later, a move that only added fuel to the fire. Observers started building timelines, trying to connect who spoke, who stayed quiet, who reacted strangely, and who pretended not to notice anything. The deeper people looked, the more complicated the situation became. A lot of eyes turned to one particular moment. A private studio session from 2 months ago, where Durk, the accuser, and a few other people were seen together. Nothing dramatic happened in the video clips. But the fact that they were all in the same room made people wonder if the roots of this conflict started there. By noon, the situation had grown so large that mainstream entertainment pages picked it up. Headlines appeared everywhere. Twitter Spaces opened with thousands of listeners. YouTube channels went live with intense titles. And at the center of the storm, the accuser had still posted nothing new. No updates, no clarifications, not even a hint. Just the original post, the one that started everything. People waited for Durk. Others waited for the accuser. But the truth was, everyone could feel the same strange tension. The story didn't feel complete. It felt like something was missing. Something big. Something that would either clear the air or set the entire internet on fire once again. Behind the scenes, someone close to the situation whispered one quiet, terrifying sentence. "You guys think this is drama. But this is only the opening scene. The real story hasn't even started yet." And suddenly, everyone knew whatever was coming next was going to be even bigger by the time afternoon hit. The entire situation had transformed from late-night chaos into a full-scale internet earthquake. Nobody was just watching anymore. Everyone was invested. People weren't just reacting. They were digging, searching, arguing, trying to piece together a puzzle with half the pieces missing. And the strangest part wasn't even the accusation itself. It was that both sides remained completely silent. No new posts, no responses, no explanations. Just tension, thick, uncomfortable, and growing heavier by the minute. But behind all the noise, something was happening that the public couldn't see. Durk's circle, the people who actually had access to him, had locked everything down. Phones were going unanswered. Messages were being ignored. Studios were suddenly off limits for the day. Even a couple of artists who had sessions scheduled with him were told to wait until things settle. That alone told insiders one thing. This situation wasn't just online drama. It had reached Durk's real life. People close to him later said that he spent most of the day quiet, pacing, replaying old conversations in his head, trying to understand where this attack came from. He wasn't the type to panic easily. He'd survived too much for that, but this was different. This wasn't someone lying on the internet for attention. This wasn't a random rumor that disappears in 24 hours. This came from someone who knew enough to hurt him, and that made the situation dangerous. Meanwhile, the accuser wasn't hiding at all. They were active, watching stories, liking posts, even commenting on random things, almost as if the storm around them didn't exist. That calmness scared people. Most individuals, after dropping a bomb like that, either disappear or start defending themselves. But this person? They acted like they had all the time in the world. People began messaging the accuser privately, asking questions, begging for details, offering money for screenshots or audio. And though they didn't post anything publicly, a few messages leaked from private conversations, not the full context, just small fragments that sent the internet into another spiral. Short, chilling lines like, "I'm not the only one who knows," he responds. "I'll show the rest." He shouldn't pretend like nothing happened. Those 3 lines spread faster than the original accusation. Fans were losing their minds. Durk's defenders were getting nervous. Haters were celebrating like they had won a championship. And the industry. The industry was watching with cold silence, taking mental notes, preparing for whatever came next. Late in the evening, something unexpected happened. One of Durk's longtime associates, someone who had been with him through countless highs and lows, suddenly unfollowed the accuser. It was a small action, but fans noticed instantly, because in this kind of drama, even a single unfollow felt like a message. People began dissecting it like detectives. Why unfollow now? Did they have a conversation? Did something happen behind the scenes? Is this proof the accuser is lying? But the biggest shock wasn't it was what happened next. The accuser posted a story, not about Durk, not about the accusation, but a simple black screen with 7 words that froze the internet. "You can unfollow me, but you know." No name, no tag, no context. Yet everyone knew exactly who it was meant for the first time since the accusation dropped. The story felt personal, like the accuser wasn't just exposing something, but calling out people individually. And if they were brave enough to do that publicly, people wondered, what are they willing to say privately? What else do they have? Who else are they talking to? Meanwhile, people inside Durk's camp began arguing among themselves. Some wanted him to respond immediately, to shut everything down before it grew into something uncontrollable. Others begged him to stay silent and wait it out. A few claimed the accuser didn't have much proof. Others thought the evidence could be real and needed to be handled carefully, not emotionally. And Durk? He still said nothing. People closest to him saw something different in him, not fear, not guilt, but a kind of focused anger. A quiet, calculating type of anger that only appears when someone feels betrayed by someone they once trusted deeply. He wasn't thinking like an artist now. He wasn't thinking like a public figure. He was thinking like a man who had been blindsided. At the same time, the accuser wasn't alone anymore. Two new voices appeared, not making public accusations, but liking posts, sharing cryptic messages, and dropping subtle hints that they knew the truth. It was becoming clear that the accusation wasn't just one person's story. A small group, quietly connected to each other, was forming around the drama. And that changed everything. Because one person can be ignored. Two people can be doubted. But when 3 or 4 people begin reacting to the same event, everyone starts wondering if something bigger is being hidden. By midnight, the internet felt electric again. Nobody slept. Comment sections kept refreshing. Pages kept posting. Everyone knew something was coming, something bigger than screenshots. Bigger than stories, bigger than whispers. But the person who said nothing was Durk himself. He sat alone for long stretches of time, replaying old memories, trying to figure out the exact moment this person switched sides. He remembered the studio sessions, the conversations, the private jokes, the sudden closeness. Everything had seemed normal then. Nothing had warned him that months later, this same person would become the source of the biggest storm he'd faced in years. And what hurt him the most wasn't the accusation. It was the betrayal. Outside, the internet had started connecting dots that weren't even connected. People were digging through old pictures of the accuser with Durk. They were examining old captions, old lyrics, old comments under posts. Every small action from the past suddenly felt like a clue. And because the accuser had posted that cryptic message earlier, fans became even more convinced there was a hidden history that hadn't been revealed yet. Then something unexpected broke the silence. Again, a new screenshot leaked not from the accuser, but from someone who claimed to have been in the group chat with both of them months ago. The screenshot itself didn't show anything incriminating, but the tone of the conversation made it clear that the relationship between Durk and the accuser had been closer than most people realized. Friends, partners, business associates. The screenshot didn't make that obvious, and that mystery made the internet explode even more. People began pulling up interviews where Durk spoke softly about loyalty. They found clips where he talked about betrayal. They slowed down parts of documentaries where he looked uncomfortable during certain questions. Every small thing was suddenly turned into a theory. And the more theories appeared, the harder it became to separate truth from fiction. Meanwhile, the accuser had been quiet again. No stories, no posts, not even likes. That silence felt intentional, like they were preparing something. And then, at nearly 1:40 a.m., a message appeared in a private chat. Leaked by someone who couldn't resist the attention, "Everything goes live tomorrow." 2 simple words in that sentence, "goes live," sent the entire internet into a frenzy. Because live didn't just mean posting screenshots. It meant going on camera. Speaking, showing proof, bringing names into the light. This wasn't going to be quiet anymore. This was going to be public. Inside Durk's circle, panic immediately rose again. Some begged him to respond before morning. Some insisted he stay calm and let the accuser talk first. Let them show what they have before you reveal anything. One advisor said. Others believed this was a setup. A deliberate attempt to drag Durk into drama he couldn't win. Durk stayed quiet for a long time before finally saying one sentence that caught everyone off guard. If they're going public, then it's time. His tone wasn't scared. It wasn't shaky. It was steady, controlled. He wasn't preparing to defend himself. He was preparing to end something. Whatever the truth was, whatever the history between him and the accuser had been, Durk clearly wasn't planning to let the narrative run wild for long. But the accuser wasn't alone anymore. 2 people who had posted subtle hints earlier now became more active. One posted a blurry image of what looked like voice notes. Another posted a screenshot of a file titled Proof Final. Nobody knew if these were real or edited, but nobody cared. The internet believed what it wanted to believe. And right now, it wanted chaos at the same time. A mutual friend of both sides, someone fans recognized but rarely heard from, suddenly posted a story with the words, "Y'all don't know the half." No details, no explanations, just fuel on top of a fire that was already uncontrollable. The anticipation felt like a countdown. Everything pointed to one thing. Tomorrow wasn't going to be normal. Someone was going to speak. Someone was going to expose something. And someone was going to be forced to face the truth, whether that truth cleared Durk or destroyed him. No one knew yet, but one thing was certain. The real war hadn't even started. And when tomorrow arrived, nothing would be the same. Morning didn't arrive quietly. It hit like an alarm that nobody was ready for. The entire internet was awake early, refreshing timelines every 5 seconds, waiting for the accuser to go live just like they promised the night before. Nobody went to work. Nobody focused on anything else. Even big platforms were preparing their pages, expecting the biggest reveal of the year. And right in the middle of all that tension, one channel stood out more than anyone expected. Rapshock, all night. Rapshock had been breaking every detail of the situation, not exaggerating, not twisting the story, just giving raw updates exactly as they happened. Fans started flooding the comments saying, "Rapshock is the only one covering this right." Some even said they kept the page open like a news channel, waiting for the next post. And now, as the morning chaos spread, Rapshock became the main hub for updates. Every few minutes, someone tagged them asking if the accuser had gone live yet, if Durk had responded, if anything new had dropped. The pressure on Rapshock was real because people trusted them more than the bigger pages with millions of followers. But even Rapshock didn't know the full truth yet. The accuser's page stayed silent. No live, no story, not even a post, just nothing. And the silence was louder than any reveal. People waited, and waited, and waited. By 9 a.m., rumors started circulating that the accuser was being threatened. Others said Instagram took their live capability away. Someone else claimed the accuser was talking to a legal team. Nobody knew what was real. Everyone just assumed the worst. Then suddenly, without warning, Rapshock posted an update that made the entire internet freeze. Sources claim the accuser is not backing out. Something is being prepared. Those words spread everywhere within minutes. Even people who weren't part of the drama started posting screenshots of Rapshock's update. The comment section turned into a war zone again, with thousands of people begging for details. Some prayed it was nothing. Others wanted the live to happen immediately. Meanwhile, behind all this, the accuser wasn't hiding. They were preparing. And what they were preparing wasn't just a casual live stream. It was something more calculated. Something planned. Something that looked professional, not emotional. A pre-recorded video, and that changed everything. Because a pre-recorded video meant editing. It meant structure. It meant choosing every word carefully. It meant showing exactly what they wanted the world to see, and possibly hiding what they didn't. It wasn't raw emotion. It wasn't a rant. It was strategy at the same time. Inside Durk's circle, things were heating up fast. Someone close to him claimed he had barely slept, pacing back and forth, waiting for the accuser to show their hand. Every hour that passed without the video made him more anxious and more angry. His team kept demanding he let them release a statement first, but Durk wasn't ready to speak blindly. He wanted to see the evidence. He wanted to know exactly what he was fighting against around noon. Everything shifted again. A short clip leaked online, only 6 seconds long. But those 6 seconds were enough to restart the chaos at full volume. The clip wasn't posted by the accuser. It wasn't posted by Durk's team. It was posted by a random burner account nobody had seen before. The clip included a blurred screen, the accuser's voice, and one sentence: "If he lies, I'm dropping everything." Those words hit like a thunderbolt within minutes. Rapshock picked it up and posted, breaking a new leaked clip suggests the accuser is waiting for Durk to respond first. And once again, the entire internet shifted its attention to Durk. People began flooding his last post with comments. Say something. Don't let them frame you. Tell your side. You're being set up. Others wrote the opposite. If you stay quiet, we know why. Your silence is the answer. Talk now before it's too late. And for the first time in 24 hours, Durk unlocked his phone, opened Instagram, and tapped the option to write a story. His team panicked. They begged him to stop, but he didn't. He typed slowly, carefully, staring at each word before moving to the next. Everyone in the room leaned in, watching him like the entire world depended on that single story. Just when he was about to post it, he deleted the whole thing. He didn't like the tone. He didn't like the angle. He didn't like speaking while angry. So instead, he sat back, closed his phone, and waited again, even though every second made the air feel heavier. Meanwhile, Rapshock posted another update. Both sides are staying quiet. Something big is coming. Those 7 words created a buzz so loud that fans immediately believed something massive was hours away. Now, even other big news pages started quoting Rapshock, turning your channel into the central authority of the entire situation. People started commenting, "Rapshock knows something. Rapshock is connected. Rapshock is the only one giving real info." The pressure grew. The audience expanded, and the storm intensified by late afternoon. A small but powerful whisper began circulating in private chats. The accuser's video drops tonight. Whether it was true or not didn't matter. The world believed it. And once the world believes something, the story becomes